I found the box of letters because my fiancé, David, forgot to close the browser on his laptop. It was a Tuesday night, completely ordinary. We had just finished dinner. A stir-fry I'd burned slightly, and he'd gone to take a shower. I was cleaning up, and his laptop was open on the kitchen island, still humming. I wasn't snooping. I swear I wasn't. I was just going to close the lid for him to save the battery when the screen lit up and I saw his email inbox. And the first email in his inbox, sent 3 hours earlier while he was at work, had a subject line that made my blood run cold. Reply to your letter. Please read this one, David. I'm begging you. I didn't click it. For a full minute, I stood there with a sponge in my hand, dripping soapy water onto the floor, staring at those words. Your letter. What letters? We'd been together for 3 years, engaged for 6 months. I knew everything about David, or I thought I did. He was an open book. He talked about his childhood in Portland, his annoying older sister, his parents' divorce when he was in high school. There were no secrets. There couldn't be. My hand moved before my brain could stop it. I clicked. The email was long, rambling, desperate. It was from a woman named Melissa. She wrote about how she'd been thinking about him every single day for the last 10 years. She wrote about the summer after senior year, about a place called Lookout Point, about a promise they'd made. She said she still had every letter he'd ever sent her, tied with a red ribbon in a shoebox under her bed. She said she knew he was engaged, that she'd seen the announcement on Facebook, and that it was killing her. If you're truly happy, she wrote, I'll disappear. I swear I will, but I have to hear it from you. I have to know that what we had meant nothing, because it meant everything to me. I read it 3 times. Then I scrolled down, and there, in David sent folder, was his reply. Melissa, you have to stop this. You can't email me anymore. I'm with Lily now and I love her. What we had was a long time ago. It was a different life. I wish you well, truly, but you need to move on. Please don't contact me again. It was cold, dismissive. A door slammed shut. I should have felt relieved. He'd done the right thing. He'd shut it down. But all I could feel was the weight of the thing he hadn't told me. The letters. He had written her letters. Many of them. For how long? When did they stop? He'd never once mentioned to Melissa. Not a single, solitary time. I thought I knew every corner of his past. I knew about his college girlfriend, Amanda, who'd cheated on him. I knew about the girl in high school, Jenna, who he'd taken to prom. But Melissa? She didn't exist in his narrative. She was a ghost. I heard the shower turn off upstairs. I closed the laptop, my heart hammering against my ribs. I finished wiping down the counters, my hands trembling, when David came downstairs in his sweatpants, hair still damp, and kissed my forehead. I flinched. He didn't notice. He never notices. I didn't sleep that night. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling, replaying the emails in my head. The summer after senior year. That was 10 years ago. We would have been 18. Where was I 10 years ago? I was a sophomore in college, 3 states away, just a girl he hadn't met yet. It was a lifetime ago. So why did it feel like a knife in my chest? The next morning, I made him his coffee, just like I always do, and I sat down across from him at the kitchen table. Who's Melissa? I asked. He looked up from his phone, a piece of toast halfway to his mouth. His face didn't change, not at first. It was a blank slate. Then, slowly, the color drained from his cheeks. He put the toast down. What? Melissa, I repeated, the one who writes you letters. The one you promised something to at Lookout Point. He stared at me for a long, horrible moment. I could see him trying to decide what to do. Deny? Lie? Deflect? Finally, He just closed his eyes and let out a long, slow breath. You read my email. I didn't mean to. It was open. The subject line, David, who is she? He rubbed his face with both hands, a gesture I'd seen him do 1,000 times when he was tired or stressed. But this time, it looked different. It looked like he was trying to scrub something away. She's no one, he said. She's someone I knew a long time ago. Before you. It was nothing. It wasn't nothing, I said, my voice shaking. She said, you made a promise. She said you wrote her letters. Many letters. You never told me about her. Why? Because it was a long time ago, Lily. It was high school. It was stupid kid stuff. We dated for a few months the summer before college. It ended. She went to school in California. I went here. It was over. Then why is she emailing you now? Why does she still have your letters? I don't know, he said, and for the first time, I heard a flash of anger in his voice. I haven't talked to her in 10 years. She showed up in my inbox a few months ago, out of the blue. I told her to stop. I told her I'm with you. I'm engaged. What else do you want me to do? A few months ago, I repeated, this has been going on for months, and you didn't think to tell me? I don't want to worry you. It was nothing. It is nothing. She's just some girl who can't let go of the past. But I could see it in his eyes. It wasn't nothing. The way he couldn't quite look at me. The way his jaw was set tight and hard. He was protecting something. A piece of himself he'd never shown me. I pushed back on the table, my coffee untouched. I need some air. I walked for hours. I walked through our neighborhood, past the neat little houses with their neat little lawns, past the park where we'd had a picnic last spring, past the coffee shop where we'd had our first date. Everywhere I looked, I saw us. Our life, the life I thought was solid and real. And now there was a crack in it. A crack I hadn't put there, a crack he'd hidden from me. When I got home, he was waiting on the couch. He looked up when I walked in, and his eyes were red-rimmed. I'm sorry, he said. I should have told you. I was a coward. I didn't want you to think less of me, or to think I was still hung up on someone else. Because I'm not, Lily. I'm not. I love you. I want to marry you. Melissa is just a ghost. A ghost I should have exorcised a long time ago. I sat down across from him, keeping the coffee table between us like a shield. Tell me about her. Everything. And he did. He told me about the summer after senior year, the summer before everything changed. He told me about meeting Melissa at a party, about the way she laughed, about the long drives they'd take in his beat-up old truck, about Lookout Point, a cliff overlooking the Columbia River Gorge where they'd go to watch the sunset. He told me about the promise. They were 18, in love, and terrified of the future. They promised each other that if they both made it, if they both became the people they wanted to be, they'd find their way back to each other. It was a kid's promise, he said, a fairy tale. But they meant it with every fiber of their being. He told me about the letters. He was never good at saying things out loud, he said, but on paper, he could be honest. He wrote her every week that first year of college. She wrote him back. And then, slowly, the letters got shorter. The gaps between them got longer. He met new people, had new experiences. So, did she. By sophomore year, they'd stopped altogether. It wasn't a fight, he said. It was just life, drifting apart. I haven't thought about her in years, he said. Not really. Not until she emailed me. And then it all came flooding back. Not the feelings for her, Lily. The feelings for who I was back then. The kid who thought he could promise forever. It was like getting a letter from a ghost. And you didn't want to tell me because I was ashamed, he whispered. Ashamed that I'd ever made that promise. Ashamed that a part of me, a tiny, Stupid part of me. Wonder what would have happened if we'd tried. Not because I want her. I don't. I swear I don't. But because that promise was the most honest thing I'd ever said to anyone. Until now, I wanted to be angry. I was angry, but I also understood. We all have ghosts. We all have past we buried. Mine was a tattoo I'd gotten with an ex-boyfriend, a stupid little star on my ankle that I'd long since stopped seeing. David had never asked me to cover it. He'd never even mentioned it. He accepted my past without question. Could I do any less? I moved to the couch and sat beside him. I took his hand. I'm not mad about Melissa, I said, and I meant it. I'm mad that you didn't trust me enough to tell me. I'm your partner, your future wife. You don't get to protect me from your past. You let me in. All of it. The good and the bad and confusing. He nodded, his eyes glistening. I know. I'm sorry. I'll tell her to stop. For good this time. I'll block her. Whatever you need. I don't need you to block her, I said. I need you to be honest with me. That's all. If you want to reply to her emails, fine. If you want closure, fine. But you do it with me. You don't hide it. He pulled me into a hug, burying his face in my hair. I love you, he whispered. I'm so sorry. I thought that was the end of it. I really did. We had our moment of honesty, our breakthrough. We were stronger for it. Or so I told myself. But the ghost didn't go away. Over the next few weeks, I noticed things, small things. He'd be quieter than usual, lost in thought. He'd check his phone more often, then put it down quickly if I walked into the room. He'd go for drives alone on Sunday afternoons, something he'd never done before. He said he needed to clear his head. I didn't ask where he went. I was trying so hard to be the cool, understanding fiancé that I was ignoring every red flag waving in my face. Then one night, he came home late, really late. It was past midnight, and he'd told me he was going to grab a beer with his friend, Kyle. I'd gone to bed at 11, assuming he'd be home by then. I woke up at 12:30 to an empty bed. I called him. No answer. I texted. No reply. By 1 a.m, I was pacing the living room, my mind racing through every possible scenario. Car accident, robbery, something terrible. He walked in at 1:15, smelling like wind and cold air. His eyes were wide, almost manic. I'm sorry, he said before I could even speak. I'm so sorry. I lost track of time. Where were you? My voice was calm, but my heart was pounding. I went for a drive. After the bar, I needed to think. I drove out to the gorge. The gorge. Lookout Point. You went to Lookout Point, I said. It wasn't a question. He flinched. Lily, it's not what you think. I needed to see it, to close the loop. I haven't been there in 10 years. I just wanted to see if it was still the same. Was she there? What? No. God, no. It was just me. Alone. I sat in my truck and looked at the river, and I thought about that stupid promise, and I realized how ridiculous it all is. I'm not that kid anymore. I don't want to be that kid. I want to be here. With you. I wanted to believe him. I did. But something had shifted. A tiny crack had become a fissure. David, I said slowly, I need you to be honest with me. Have you been talking to her? Since we talked. He looked at me, and in his eyes I saw it. The truth he didn't want to tell. A few times, he whispered. Just emails. She kept writing. She said she needed closure. 2. She said if we could just talk. Just once. She could let go. I thought I could help her. I thought it would make it all stop. And did it? He shook his head. No, it made it worse. She says she still loves me. She says she's been waiting for me. She says the promise was real, and she's kept it all these years. I sat down on the couch, my legs giving out. The room felt like it was spinning. Did you tell her you're engaged? Did you tell her you love me? Yes, I told her. Every time. She says she doesn't care. She says I'm confused, that I'm settling, that I'm only with you because I can't have her. I stared at him. And you kept talking to her? After she said that about me? I was trying to be kind. I was trying to let her down easy. I didn't want to hurt her. You didn't want to hurt her? My voice cracked. What about me, David? Do you think this doesn't hurt me? Do you think lying to me for weeks, go behind my back, sneaking off to your secret spot in the middle of the night, do you think any of that is kind? He sank to his knees in front of me, grabbing my hands. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll stop. I'll block her. I'll do whatever you need. Please, Lily. Please don't leave me. I looked at him. This man I loved. This man I was going to marry. He was crying. He was begging. He was a mess. And in that moment, I realized the problem wasn't Melissa. The problem was him. His inability to let go. His need to be the good guy. To not hurt anyone. Which meant he was hurting everyone. Including me. Including himself. I pulled my hands away. I need you to leave, I said. Lily, please. Leave, David. Go to Kyle's. Go to a hotel. I don't care, but I can't look at you right now. I need to think. He opened his mouth to argue, then closed it. He stood up slowly and walked to the door. He paused with his hand on the knob. I love you, he said. I'll fix this. I promise. Then he was gone. I sat on the couch for the rest of the night, watching the sky turn from black to gray to pale blue. I thought about our life together, the good parts, the way he made me coffee every morning, the way he sang off-key in the car, the way he held me when I had nightmares. I loved him. I loved him so much it hurt. But love wasn't enough. Not if he couldn't be honest. Not if he couldn't choose me, fully and completely, without looking back. The next few days were a blur. He texted. He called. I ignored most of it. I needed space. I needed to figure out what I wanted. My friends told me to leave him. My mom told me to give him another chance. I didn't know what to do. Then, on the fourth day, I got a Facebook message from a name I didn't recognize. Melissa. I stared at her profile picture for a long time. She was pretty, blonde hair, blue eyes, a smile that looked genuine. She looked like the girl next door, the kind of girl you want to be friends with, the kind of girl you'd hate to compete with. I opened the message. Lily, I know you probably hate me. I don't blame you. I've done some terrible things. I've tried to come between you and David, and I'm ashamed of that. But I need you to know the truth. The whole truth. David hasn't been honest with you. Not about me. Not about what's really been going on. I'm not writing this to hurt you. I'm writing this because you deserve to know who you're marrying. Can we meet? Just once. I'll tell you everything. Melissa. My first instinct was to delete it. Block her. Pretend I never saw it. This was clearly a manipulation. Another attempt to drive us apart. But the words echoed in my head. David hasn't been honest with you. I already knew that. But what else was there? What more could there possibly be? I replied, where and when? We met at a coffee shop halfway between our towns. It was neutral ground, a place where neither of us had any history. I got there first, ordered a black coffee I didn't want, and sat in a corner booth watching the door. When she walked in, I felt a jolt. She was even prettier in person. She was also visibly nervous, her hands shaking as she ordered her tea. She spotted me, took a deep breath, and walked over. Lily, she said, sliding into the booth across from me. Thank you for coming. I know this is weird. Understatement of the year, I said. Just tell me what you came to tell me. She nodded, wrapping her hands around her teacup. David and I, we didn't just date that summer. We were everything to each other. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's true. We grew up in the same town. Did you know that? No, I said. He said you met at a party. We did, but we'd known each other our whole lives. Our families were friends. Our moms were best friends. We grew up together. We were inseparable as kids. Then, in high school, we drifted apart. Different crowds, you know? But that summer after senior year, we found each other again, and it was like no time had passed. It was intense. Too intense, probably. We talked about everything. The future, our dreams, our fears. We made that promise at Lookout Point, and we meant it. I listened, my coffee growing cold in front of me. This was already more than David had told me. He'd said they met at a party. He'd said they dated for a few months. He'd left out the lifetime of friendship that came before. When we went to college, we swore we'd make it work. Long distance, letters, phone calls. We were so sure. But it's hard, you know? Being 18, 19, trying to hold on to something while everything around you is changing. The letters got fewer. The calls got shorter. I met someone. He met someone. We let it fade. I always thought we'd find our way back. That's what the promise meant to me. That no matter what, we'd find our way back. She paused, her eyes glistening. When I saw his engagement announcement on Facebook, it broke me. Not because I thought I had a right to him. I didn't. We hadn't spoken in years. But because it felt like the promise was dead. Like the one thing I'd held on to, the stupid, childish hope, was finally, officially over. I wrote him that first email in a moment of weakness. I just wanted to, I don't know, say goodbye, get closure. But you didn't say goodbye, I said. You kept writing. I know, and I'm not proud of it. But here's the thing, Lily. David wrote back. Every time. He said he wanted me to stop, but he also kept the conversation going. He asked me questions. He asked about my life, my job, my family. He told me about his. He told me about you, but it was always clinical, like he was describing a roommate, not a fiancé. And I thought maybe he still had feelings. Maybe he was just as confused as I was. He loves me, I said, but even as I said it, my voice wavered. Melissa looked at me, her eyes sad. I'm sure he does, in his way. But Lily, there's something you need to know. Something he never told you. My heart stopped. What? David and I, we didn't just stop talking. He was the one who ended it. But he didn't do it kindly. He just disappeared. Stopped replying to my letters. Stopped answering my calls. I spent months, years, wondering what I'd done wrong. I thought it was my fault. I thought I wasn't good enough. That's why the promise meant so much to me. Because it was the last time I felt like he truly loved me, before he threw me away. I shook my head. That's not. He told me you drifted apart. Mutually. He lied. Her voice was firm. He lied because he doesn't want to face what he did. He doesn't want to be the bad guy. He never does. That's his thing, isn't it? He always wants to be the good guy, the nice guy, the one who never hurts anyone. But he does hurt people, Lily. He just doesn't stick around to see it. I thought about David's excuses. I was trying to be kind. I didn't want to hurt her. I thought about the way he'd disappear for hours, the way he'd lie by omission, the way he'd prioritize her feelings over mine. It all clicked into place. He wasn't protecting her. He was protecting himself from the guilt of having hurt her, from the discomfort of being the bad guy. Why are you telling me this? I asked, if you're in love with him, why would you sabotage your own chances? Melissa laughed, a sad, hollow sound, because I finally realized something. I'm not in love with David. I'm in love with the memory of him. The boy he was at 18. The boy who made promises he couldn't keep. That boy is gone. He's been gone for a long time. The man he is now, he's just a ghost. And ghosts can't love you back. She stood up, leaving her tea untouched. I'm sorry for the pain I caused. I'm sorry for trying to come between you. I'm going to block him, delete his emails, and move on. For real this time. You deserve better than a man who can't let go of his past. And so do I. She walked out of the coffee shop without looking back. I sat there for a long time, staring at the door, my mind reeling. When I got home, David was there. He'd let himself in with his key. He was sitting on the couch, his head in his hands. He looked up when I walked in, and his face was a mess of hope and fear. "Lily," he said, standing, "I've been so worried. I've been calling. Why didn't you answer?" I set my purse down slowly. I was with Melissa. The color drained from his face. "What? Why?" "Lily, whatever she told you, it's not." She told me the truth. I interrupted. She told me about growing up together, about the promise, about how you ended it by disappearing, not by being honest. She told me about the boy you used to be. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. She also told me she's done. I continued. She's moving on. For real this time. She's not your problem anymore. So now it's just you and me. And the question I need you to answer. What question? I looked at him. This man I loved. This man I thought I knew. Who are you, David? Not the good guy you pretend to be. Not the boy who made promises at lookout point. Who are you right now in this moment, standing in front of me? He stared at me, and for the first time, I saw something in his eyes I'd never seen before. Fear. Not fear of losing me, but fear of being seen. Really seen. "I don't know," he whispered. "I don't know who I am." And that was the most honest thing he'd ever said to me. I took off my engagement ring and set it on the coffee table. The diamond caught the light, sparkling like a tiny, cruel star. "Then go find out," I said. "But don't come back until you know. And don't expect me to wait." I walked past him, up the stairs, and into our bedroom. I closed the door behind me and slid down to the floor, my back against the wood, and I cried. I cried for the boy at Lookout Point, for the girl with the red ribbon, for the man who didn't know himself, and for me, for the future I'd imagined, the wedding I planned, the life I thought was mine. 3 months later, I was sitting in the same coffee shop where I'd met Melissa, but this time I was alone. I had a new apartment, a new routine, a new understanding of myself. The breakup had been brutal. David had tried to win me back for weeks. Letters, flowers, desperate phone calls. He'd even shown up at my work once, causing a scene that got him banned from the building. But I held firm. I'd meant what I said. He needed to find himself, and I needed to find myself, and we couldn't do that together. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Lily, this is Melissa. I know it's weird to text you. I got your number from a mutual friend. I just want to say thank you for listening to me that day, for believing me. I've started therapy. I'm working through my issues. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're happy." I stared at the message for a long time. Then I typed a reply. "I am. I hope you are too." I put my phone down and looked out the window. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. It was beautiful. It was enough. I didn't need a promise made at a cliffside. I didn't need a man who couldn't let go of his past. I needed myself. And for the first time in a long time, I had her. I smiled took a sip of my coffee, and watched the sun go down.